It's yet another Sunday, and we're together again on Newsline, your every Sunday relaxation tonic. Good evening. Welcome. I am Claire Adilabu Abdurrazak, and tonight we've got an exciting mix of stories that will intrigue, inspire, and leave you reflecting on the resilience of the Nigerian spirit. And from blessings and reminders of life's miracles to unwavering tales of resilience, would also showcase the true indomitable Nigerian spirit. Plus, shine a light on individuals and organizations making lasting impact on humanity. Now, from the vibrant cultural celebrations to the wisdom of age-old traditions, tonight's stories will celebrate the essence of who we are as a people, and every moment promises to captivate, every story to touch your heart. So let's sit back, as always, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, or whatsoever that's warm, and let the stories resonate deeply, deeply with you tonight. So please don't go anywhere, as I'll hand over to Ogochukwu, Ogochukwu Uka, to bring us the news segment, and I'll be back to set the sail. Ogo.
All right, thank you, Claire, and welcome to the news segment. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Musikelo Mojid, editor-in-chief of Premium Times, and other newly elected leaders of the Nigeria chapter of the International Press Institute, IPI. Members re-elected Mojid as president of IPI Nigeria, alongside Media Trust Ahmed Shekarau, secretary, and Fidelis Sumba of Al Jazeera Television, deputy president. Members also elected Rafatu Salami of Voice of Nigeria, treasurer, Yomi Adeboye of Herald newspaper, assistant secretary, and Toby Soni of Arise News, legal advisor. The president urged the new chapter leadership to work with the administration to expand access to information and reinforce the country's democratic ethos. President Tinubu said the new IPI leadership has a prominent role in ensuring responsible journalism that advances national interests as enshrined in the Constitution. ECOWAS has officially acknowledged the decision of the three countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to opt out of the regional bloc as from the 29th of January 2025. This is one of the major outcomes of the 66th Ordinary Summit of the ECOWAS authorities, heads of state and government, held this Sunday in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbah Odan Wahab reports that the authority, however, leaves room for mediation and reconsideration by the dissenting countries.
The 66th Ordinary Summit takes ECOWAS much closer to its 50th anniversary. Hence, the need for some stock taking. The body appraised progress made in its process of regional integration, peacekeeping, and infrastructural projects in member states. However, the chairman acknowledged some drawbacks manifesting in crisis and political instability in parts of the continent and the sub-region. And so, despite the progress, President Tinubu is encouraging member states to redouble efforts on the fundamentals of governance.
We must not lose sight of our fundamental responsibility, which is to protect our citizens and create an enabling environment where they can prosper. As leaders, we are fully aware that security is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Equally, enhancing the living standard of our people is not an aspiration, but an obligation.
ECOWAS commended the incumbent Vice President of Ghana, Mahamadou Bawumia, candidate of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, in December 7th presidential election for conceding defeat early enough before the announcement of the results. But more celebrated is the outgoing president, Nana Akufo-Addo, whom President Tinubu described as a Democrat for his commitment to democracy and the successful implementation of ECOWAS institutional reforms.
I therefore invite all of us to give him a standing ovation and more applause. And all of us in the region to learn from this good democratic practice and prioritize our country's national unity to ensure political stability of the region. That this manner of peaceful transition, because the culture of democracy is not only in West Africa, but also in the entire African continent.
However, the community got to a milestone on the decision of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to vacate their seats on the bloc. Months of mediation by several emissaries of the body, including President Faye Singbe of Togo and Bassirou Diomaye Faye of Senegal, have apparently not convinced the dissenting countries to reconsider their decision.
The three countries will officially cease to be members of ECOWAS from 29 January 2025. The authority decides to set the period from 29 January 2025 to 29 July 2025 as a transitional period and to keep ECOWAS doors open to the three countries during the transition period. The authority directs the President of the Commission to launch withdrawal formalities after the deadline of 29 January 2025.
It's like a marriage. If you want to depart, you have to move your things out of a house, who owns what, and there are certain agencies under ECOWAS that are domiciled in those countries. So all of that has to be sorted out. During that 6-month period, the authority of heads of state has directed that ECOWAS redouble its efforts to ensure that these three countries don't leave. And the door still remains during the 6-month period for them to remain.
ECOWAS also commended Nigeria under President Bola Tinubu for what the Commission's president described as exemplary by fulfilling its financial obligation to the body up to date. From the State House, Muspal Nanwahab, NTA News.
For effective and efficient justice service delivery in every democratic dispensation, there is a need for improved accessibility to the justice system through judicial infrastructure digitalization. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, in his paper delivered at the 2024 Court of Appeal Justices Annual Conference in Abuja, says this is an administrative imperative of government at all levels. Elizabeth Fomori reports.
Pointed out that improved accessible roads, courtrooms, judicial quarters, power supply and electronic infrastructure will reduce delays in adjudication and promote productivity, while ruling out efforts taken by the Renewed Hope administration aimed at tackling judicial infrastructure deficit. He praised the resilience of judicial officers towards enhancing operational efficiency.
This administration is very committed to infrastructure development, and I want to assure my lords that this Renewed Hope administration is going to address, if not all, but most of the infrastructure challenges being faced by the judiciary, and this will enhance your performances. But meanwhile, you have done quite a lot in spite of the poor infrastructure in most of the states and even at the national level. A little more patience, we shall be there.
These efforts, the legal luminaries at the conference say, will have ripple effect on the outcome of adjudication and promote independence of the judiciary.
Don't end your distinction by sending people to prison. I beg you, end your distinction so that the nation builds less prisons. The proper approach: build more schools, make the nation self-reliant.
They also called on anti-corruption agencies to find more proactive and productive measures to fight corruption, noting that government must be intentional in making Nigeria great.
The federal government is committed to the improvement and modernization of the Nigerian Television Authority for it to sustain its given mandates of uniting the multicultural nature of the country into an indivisible nation. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this while touring facilities at the NTA Lagos Network Center in company of the DG NTA, Abdulhamid Dembos. Larry Belay has details.
The Minister of Information visit to the Lagos Network Center of the NTA was a moral booster for the management and staff of the station, as it has been a while a minister has made such visit. Upon arrival at the center, the Minister, Mohammed Idris, was led by the Director General, Abdulhamid Dembos. They went around facilities and equipments to have an on-the-spot assessment of its state and how compatible they are in terms of digital output required of them.
Because these equipment, some of them are extremely old.
Mohammed Idris then revealed that the federal government, under the administration of President Bola Tinubu, has taken concrete steps to overhaul facilities in the nation's premier television station.
It gives me some concern that NTA is in this state as it is now. But what gladdens my heart also is that the president, aware of the challenges that the NTA has made some funds available for us to improve on the services of the NTA.
In a brief chat with the staff of the station, the minister urged them to match the federal government's effort in renewing the station with innovative and out-of-the-box technology-infused ideas.
So all of you, we have to brace up for change. We have to brace up for the new challenges coming. NTA certainly will not be the same again. In line with the thinking of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the hope of this premier institution will have to be restored, and that is what the new hope is all about. It's not just in NTA, all the public broadcast facilities that we have in this country will receive this kind of boost for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Mohammed Idris assured the staff plans of taking the NTA to a whole new level of digital broadcast that is the norm everywhere in the globe, which is at the execution stage.
Big boss for the honorable minister.
In Lagos, Larry Belay, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has called on the International Press Institute Nigeria and the Nigerian Union of Journalists to continue promoting ethical and responsible journalism, saying, as defenders of the truth, the media must prioritize integrity and accountability in its work for the betterment of the nation's democracy. In a statement by the Special Advisor Media to the Minister, Rabiu Ibrahim, the Minister commends the International Press Institute Nigeria and the Nigerian Union of Journalists for the smooth and successful conduct of elections for new executive officers. Congratulating the Chief Executive Officer of Premium Times, Musikelo Mujid, and the Managing Director of Media Trust, Ahmed Shekarau, who were re-elected as President and Secretary, as well as the re-election of 4 other officers of IPI Nigeria, the Minister also hailed the peaceful transition of leadership within the Nigerian Union of Journalists, which led to the emergence of Al-Hassan Yahaya as President, making him the first from the Northeast to hold this position. The election of the new leadership of the NUJ, including Yahaya as President and Abimbola Oyetunde as the first female Deputy National President, he believes reflects the evolving dynamics and inclusivity within the Union, affirming its status as a leading professional body in Nigeria. The government image maker also pledged that the current administration remains fully committed to upholding press freedom. Promasido Nigeria, manufacturer of cowbell dairy milk, has delivered on its promise of putting smiles on the faces of its loyal customers as it produced millionaires in the just concluded Cowbell So Creamy, So Good promo. 148 new winners emerged at the grand finale. Adiola Komiakeri reports.
It began October 17, and since then, many lives have been transformed nationwide with inspiring stories from participants. The Cowbell So Creamy, So Good promo, which lasted for 8 weeks, was targeted at loyal customers of the brand. At the grand draw, 112 winners emerged in the 50,000 naira cash prize category, while 18 customers won 75,000 naira each. Another 10 persons won 200,000 naira each. 5 customers received 500,000 naira, while 3 others emerged as new millionaires.
Can I say a big congratulations to you? You just won yourself 1 million naira. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The process was monitored by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Authority.
It's been really interesting to watch and observe, the reactions of the Nigerian people, proving to the Nigerians that they are who they say they are. It's been 10 over 10, especially with transparency.
The feedback received from participants and consumers of the Cowbell brand on the promo, organizers say, is encouraging.
We want to keep touching the lives of Nigerians. We're happy to have made people millionaires, people who probably did not think of having to have millions in their accounts, and you are having this coming to your account. It's extra for you, and the fact that this is also festive period, some people don't have what to eat today, but if given this opportunity to participate and also to win, then you've put smile.
Cowbell So Creamy, So Good promo has produced a total of 21 millionaires this year. In Lagos, Adiola Komiakeri, NTA News.
For the past 64 years, Flour Mills Nigeria has been in the forefront of feeding Nigerian families and is not resting on its oars as the company unveils another staple cereal food, Yum Bowl Instant Cereal. Larry Belay was at the launch.
Penny Foods, a subsidiary of Flour Mills Nigeria, launched this stable family cereal food, Yum Bowl, in a spectacular ceremony. Yum Bowl is an instant cereal which comes in 3 flavors: strawberry, banana, vanilla, and was demonstrated to the audience how it can be prepared while they followed suit. Management of Golden Penny Foods say the introduction of the product is based on their conviction as a leading stable food company in Africa and in Nigeria.
The thing that makes Golden Penny so special is the emotion, whether it's childhood or the family values. So any new launch has to tick all of those boxes, and for sure Yum Bowl does it in spades.
It's a breakfast cereal, and kids from the age of 3 and above can consume it. Now we are targeting children, and that's because of the fun, excitement, the magic, the color changing.
Milk and sugar are already included in it, and it gives the very best of taste that kids will call you for to get it for them.
The 3 variants we are bringing in here, these are products that the consumers need in Nigeria today. These are products that will go into every nook and cranny of every home, either you are rich, either you are in the A socioeconomic strata, the B, the C, the D, the E. Flour Mills Nigeria PLC, nutritionally and in a healthy way, takes care of you.
Made from maize, Yum Bowl also contains vitamins and minerals. One only needs to mix it with hot water for kids and adults to enjoy. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
And now talking youth development. After more than 48 hours of deliberations, the federal government has outlined its strategic priorities for Nigerian youths in 2025. It seeks to empower and transform the nation's young population with specific focus on access to capital, job creation and skills for exports as top priorities. Olayinka Ojo reports that this was the focal point at the end of the 7th National Council on Youth Development in Maiduguri, Borno State capital.
With more than 60% of its population under the age of 25, the country is blessed with one of the world's most dynamic and promising youth demographics.
This youthful population can be a driving force for sustainable development, peace, and economic prosperity if adequately empowered and supported.
And since investing in the holistic development of young people is essential for economic growth, the Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, and Borno State Governor reiterate government's commitment to provide access to quality education, relevant skills training, healthcare, and economic opportunities that will continue to create safe spaces for young people to explore their potentials. This will in turn translate into transforming and repositioning Nigerian youth and make them catalysts for economic growth.
A cohesive approach that will empower the youth to drive and focus on creating the legacy that we want Nigerian youth to build. Together we can cultivate an environment where creativity thrives, ideas flourish, and dreams become a reality.
For the Commissioners of Youth Development, the tasks before them are youth empowerment, skills development, entrepreneurship support, and increased youth involvement in decision-making processes.
Accountability, transparency, which is what we are demonstrating here. We will address 72 key levels that have been put on the table by various stakeholders. We need to always address the issues of youth by understanding three things: their thoughts, behavior, and actions. Most of the policies that are going to put in place are those that will make Nigerian youth employable.
The last National Council meeting on youth development was held 5 years ago. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
A multi-billion naira worth shipments of methamphetamine and loud, as well as a strong synthetic strain of cannabis concealed in automobile spare parts imported from Canada have been intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. The agency says the consignments were intercepted at the Tin Can Seaport in Lagos after months of intelligence-driven tracking of the cargoes across 3 continents meant for distribution during the Christmas and New Year festivities. Not less than 5,001 kg methamphetamine hidden in a bag wrapped in bed sheets that came in a Toyota Camry car was recovered. A businessman linked with the consignment was promptly arrested in what is said to be the largest catch in the history of NDLEA's anti-narcotic operations. Similarly, at the Port Harcourt Port Complex in Rivers State, no fewer than 636,000 bottles of codeine-based syrup worth more than 4 billion naira were intercepted in shipments from India on Monday 9th, Wednesday 11th, and Friday 13th December 2024. The seizures were made during joint examination of 4 containers by NDLEA officers, men of customs, and other security agencies at the ports, following credible intelligence on the shipments. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu celebrates the wife of the governor of Imo State, Chioma Uzodinma, on her 35th birthday. Describing her as a remarkable lady, the First Lady says since she met the celebrant, she has been a hardworking, wise, gentle, and loving woman. In a statement, the First Lady prays that she celebrates many more years in divine health, joy, happiness, surrounded by her husband, lovely children, family, and friends. Gay Junta extends transitional rule to the outrage of opposition as Namibia's opposition prepares to head to court for legal adjudication on the recent election. Kolo Mohammed brings us details on this and other stories on Global Update.
Person for the ruling authority in Guinea said conditions have not yet been met for a transitional period to end. In negotiations with the regional bloc ECOWAS, the junta, which seized power in a coup in September 2021, had promised a return to elections and civil rule within 2 years. In July, the junta presented citizens with a draft of a new constitution, which imposes a strict 2-term limit for the presidency, each for 5 years. In other news, Namibia's ruling Southwest Africa People's Party won both the votes, extending its 34-year grip on power. The opposition believes data would help it to substantiate the allegations ahead of the main court application on 23rd December, challenging the validity of the election. Following Friday's ruling, the court ordered the Electoral Commission to provide the parties with the information by next week. The country's new de facto leader, Ahmed al-Shara, faces a massive challenge to rebuild Syria after 13 years of civil war that killed hundreds of thousands of people. Cities were bombed to ruins, the economy was gutted by international sanctions, and millions of refugees still live in camps outside Syria. Officials say most schools opened across the country on Sunday, which is the first day of working week in most Arab countries. Some parents, however, did not allow their children to resume school as they were not certain the situation was safe after 13 years of unrest, killings, bombardments, and militia sects. UN envoy to Syria said he hopes for a swift end to the international sanctions to help facilitate economic recovery. Kolo Muhammad, NTA.
And now we expect the CAF Awards in just a matter of time, that is tomorrow. We have Bade Adeleye on sports updates as he's standing by to give us the trending news in sports. Hello Bade, you're on.
Thank you, Ogo. You're very much correct. It's less than 24 hours to the highly anticipated 2024 CAF Awards. And of course, football fans in Africa are eagerly waiting to know the new king and queen of African football. In this report of special interest, Austin Edemedo analyzes the prospects of Nigerian nominees among other contenders.
Edition of the prestigious CAF Award is around the corner. As usual, final lists of nominees have been published by CAF after what can be described as a painstaking exercise. Interestingly, Nigeria leads the pack with 6 nominees across different categories. In the CAF Men's Player of the Year category, Nigeria and Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman is amongst the favorites to succeed Victor Osimhen.
Going by the performance of Lookman, who at the end of last season scored 3-goal hat-trick in the final of a UEFA Cup, winning the cup for his team, Atalanta. Away from there, the Nations Cup followed, and you see how he made sure he led Nigeria to the final.
In the Women's Player of the Year category, Nigeria and Paris FC goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie is in the running for the 2 awards, the African Women's Player of the Year and Goalkeeper of the Year awards.
CAF would like to give her the goalkeeper and give another person the CAF player award. But if she gets to win the both of them or win any of them, anyone that comes, she deserves it.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's national team, the Super Eagles, are amongst the finalists for the National Team of the Year. Nigeria's club side, Edo Queens, who reached the semi-finals of the African Women's Champions League, are amongst the finalists for Women Club of the Year.
Definitely the host nation Morocco looked to be in an advantage having a nominee both for men and women. Same time, I think we also have individuals who are the voting college, who they know, how much they've seen the person. I think this it's quite numerous, the factors that could involve, and it could also be down to you liking a player over another. I know parts of a player being your favorite. So many sentiments, and I don't think it's even beyond politics.
The 2024 CAF Award is scheduled to take place on Monday, December 16th in Marrakesh, Morocco.
All right, let's turn our attention now to the Nigeria Premier Football League as the seesaw between title contenders Remo Stars and Rivers United, and the title race continued on Sunday with Rivers United now leading the log with 2 points after beating Kwara United 2-1, while 10-man Remo Stars were held to a 1-0 draw with the Ikorodu City in close chase for the title. In the relegation zone, Niger Tornadoes compounded Sunshine Stars misery with a 4-1 thrashing, while Akwa United suffered a 2-1 defeat to Bayelsa United. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Nigeria Premier Football League Board, Benga Legbeleye, has attributed the success recorded so far in the 2024-2025 league season to the high level of integrity and professionalism from the NPFL board, the NFF, and all stakeholders. Elegbeleye revealed these in an exclusive with NTA Sports.
For a league to be credible, it is very important for credibility to reign supreme in the league, and that's all we do. So I will say kudos to my board members, kudos to the clubs themselves because they are complying, then kudos to NFF because now you see our referees having communication gadgets unlike before. Let's know that we can do good things in this country because we have capacity. When it comes to manpower, Nigeria is among the best in the world. So we must stand up and work for this country and work for football and make Nigerian football be the best in Africa.
Quite interesting. Let's move to England now, where the Manchester derby never disappoints with its flurry of surprise and drama. And of course, we had the Manchester derby earlier this evening with the red side of Manchester still celebrating after scoring twice in 2 minutes to silence their neighbors who had led 1-0 in the most part of the game. Bruno Fernandes scored from the spot in the 80th minute before Amad Diallo's 90th minute goal compounded Pep Guardiola's woes. And of course, at the results we can get now, Southampton are losing 5-0 as at the last time we checked to Tottenham, while Chelsea are 1-0 ahead of Brentford. That will be our bit when it comes to sports. Let's now return to the duo of Ogochukwu and Claire. And of course, I want to believe they are very much interested in knowing, about the winners when it comes to CAF Awards 2024 tomorrow night.
Well, I think all eyes will be on the men and women, category. And on the women's side, Chiamaka Naduze is already up for 2 awards. And given, the diplomacy in football, she may just get one. Maybe that will be for goalkeeping. And I just like to let you in on what Ed Dove, who is an ESPN reviewer, did say about the men's category. And he said, in truth, Lukman is surely the only rightful option to clinch African football top individual men's prize. I think that sums it all. If you give the 5 people who are there, Hakim, you also have Girase, you have Williams as the South African goalkeeper, and then you also have this other guy, Simon Adingra. All of them have done well respectively, but Lukman it is. Lukman,
all the way. Thank you.
All right, we root for our son and daughter, right?
Obviously. Ed Dove said it all.
Very well. All right, Newsline will be back with Captain Claire.